Hey, we're live, everyone. Welcome to the good. I can't even say the name of my own podcast here. Welcome to the Get Good podcast with Carol Freeman, the podcast for comedians that are serious about getting good. So, whether you're trying to advance beyond the open mic scene or looking to get booked consistently at comedy clubs and beyond, this podcast is for you. I'm your host, comedian Carol Freeman. And on this show, I interview headlining comedians, club owners, bookers, festival judges, comedy instructors, and more to find the best tips, techniques. Can I even read today? I don't know. Techniques and strategies so that you can improve your stand up comedy and get good. And today's episode, I have a stellar lineup of comedians that all went to the main event for the World Series of Comedy. And so I'll get into that a little bit more. So the World Series of Comedy, the largest traveling comedy festival in the United States. It's also a competition. And so the main event is the final of the whole year in Vegas. It was last week and it's an entire week. It's an amazing festival. And gosh, I didn't even write up all this starter stuff of this. So the festival in Vegas, it was at the Strat at LA Comedy Club, and every day was jam-packed. Two seminars every day from industry, and then there were two shows that were part of the competition. So the top 101 comedians that entered the competition competed all week long. So top 101, and we've got a couple of them here. And today that we're in the top 101, maybe more than a couple. And so all week long, there were shows at 4 and at 6 p.m. every day, and the top 101 were competing. And so each day we progressed further and further in that competition. And the finals were on Saturday night. Cool thing was is that the top 6 got to also go to the Dirty at 12:30 show, which is an iconic late night show that's there in Vegas at a different casino. And then the finals were on Saturday at 4 and 6. And so the top 3 were Kenny Mock, Ed, is his name wrong? Backwards. Rob Edwards and Matt Derndeck. Derndeck, is that right? Derndeck, yeah. And if you haven't heard yet, should I spoil the winner? Should I save it to the end? Those of you don't know. Anyways, Kenny Mock was the grand prize winner, and apparently he had the highest score ever recorded in the history of the 14 years of this festival. So today's episode is about comedians that went to the main event last week and sharing their takeaways, and also sharing takeaways not just from the main event but the overall festival too. So I got some I'm assuming the people that are here are going to say good things about it, but the people that have bad things to say, they probably didn't volunteer to come on here. But so up first, I'm just going to go probably in the order that people came on here, and I might pop a couple people in at a time. All the way from Florida, we have the one and only Hannibal Callens. Give it up for wait, let's do this. I've got this I can do. Yay. And also, well, Hannibal he's driving, and I'm not going to comment about the color of the screen right now for him. Let's just bring Dwayne on as well. Dwayne White.
What's up?
Yay.
Is Hannibal okay? Hannibal, are you alive?
Yeah, Hannibal. Hopefully he didn't get eaten by a crocodile out there. Is a crocodile, alligators? Yeah, both. I don't know.
Dude, where'd he go? He's gone.
Oh, we lost Hannibal. All right, that's
you
that's
had to
the
bring
end
up
of him.
alligators.
Well, his name got on screen anyway. So, Dwayne, where are you based out of?
Based out of the DC area. So
okay.
Sitting in a hotel room in Chesapeake, Virginia right now. So
you're literally, I'm in the upper corner of Washington State right now. So we're probably like opposite
we're on
corners
the opposite ends of the spectrum for sure.
Yeah.
Across the country for sure.
So how many years have you participated in World Series of Comedy?
This was the first year I've actually done anything. I put in for it last year, and then I just every time the dates came around, I just couldn't do it because I'd gotten booked on something else. So this was the first year I blocked the dates off, and I was like, I'm going to do a few of the satellites. I'm going to do the main event. So this was really year one for me. So
all right,
actual year one.
Okay, well, it's great you got to participate, but it kind of sucks. It sounds like your comedy career was dying. You didn't have bookings that week, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. I've
You
learned to block things on my calendar now and not say yes to things during certain times. I want
okay,
to block
okay.
them off.
There may be
Uh,
some trash talking of each other on the show today. Comedians hopefully appreciate that because we only
yes.
do that out of love and caring.
If
So,
we're not making fun of
uh,
someone, we probably don't like them. That's kind of how that goes.
you're right. Yeah. So I met your wife actually first before
Yeah,
you. So you
everybody
guys
did.
were
Everybody
there as a
met her.
team, and
Everybody
so
loves her. She's whatever. She's fine.
we like
I'll
her
keep
better
her.
than you. It's true.
Everybody does. And she's
Oh,
never written a joke in her life, which pisses. She's a content creator. She does that for me. She does things
oh,
that I
nice.
go, I'm talking about that, which is
So
nice.
what was did you have like an overall strategy goal, like going into the main event, both the competition, but then also just overall, the days were, what, 12, 14-hour days?
Yeah, they were
Because we
long. I'm
had
still recovering from it. I don't think my clock is reset yet. So
I forgot to mention too, in addition to the 2 seminars a day, or actually there was 3 seminars a day, 2 shows that were part of the competition. Then there was also a midnight show every night for
yeah.
every comic that was registered that didn't make the top 101, but was there at the main event too. So
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. Strategy, I don't. No, I mean, I think I went into it looking at it as like the contest was one thing. It was like it was what it was, but I didn't go in thinking that was the main thing that I was going for. I was going to meet folks and to network and to learn from the seminars. And the contest is just kind of like icing on the cake. If that worked out, I wasn't gonna get all crazy if I didn't get through any rounds or anything. But yeah, that was awesome in that respect. I mean, it was exactly what I wanted it to be in that regard. So I was pretty excited about
all right. Well, so what were your takeaways? Like you know, big ahas or
it. I'll be honest. I loved the seminars. I mean, the seminars about getting booked with the bookers that were there. The ways of sending things out. I mean, DJ did a seminar that was incredible. Just how he made contact with bookers out there. It was very very good. And
and
it was funny.
DJ, well, I forgot his last name, but DJ was the feature most of the week there, right? Or
Uh, I don't know if he was. He might have been. I didn't see. I honestly didn't go to any of the LA comedy shows,
okay.
so I don't know. I know Eric was
Sorry, LA
headlining the
Comedy
8
Club.
o'clock, and I dipped in for the last part of Butch's show the first night, but that's all I saw. But no, DJ was. I think so. Yeah, yeah. But he was dude, really smart as far as the business side of things goes. I mean, that's what I thought is the big thing from this is the business side. Also from Jason, anybody that's been around the World Series of Comedy knows that if they talk to Jason for 5 minutes, you're going to get amazing feedback. You're going to get a lot of information and
Jason Rowland of Comedy Feedback.
comedy feedback. Yeah, and I mean, I was telling Jason during this time. I also teach a comedy class out here for veterans, and
Plug
I
what
think I do a good job of feedback, but he takes it to another level. If anybody, even if you go to the satellites and you get to sit around and talk to Jason afterwards, I mean, he will give you detailed feedback, and it's insane how
yeah.
good it is and how detailed it is. I don't know how he remembers everything. Listening to a comedy set because I just struggle to get down 3 or 4 things for people in their 5 minute sets when I'm critiquing people. So it's great. Um, but yeah, I mean, and his thing about like how to set up your showcase video. I mean,
Mm.
and that alone, and it makes sense. It was funny because like I was watching a bunch of videos for a local group out here that's trying to develop a list of past comics, and I was watching video after video, and things he was saying were just yeah, I was like, that's dead on. If I would have done that, I mean, if some of these people would have done that, I might have like noticed them more, paid attention more to the video, and that's so his feedback was incredibly good in that. So yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. So what tips would you have for people considering applying to the cool thing about this festival is that everyone who applies eventually, gets some stage time too. So it's
yeah,
unlike most festivals where it's like, gosh, I hope they accept me as
yeah. I say go. I mean, honestly, go. I mean, there were people there from all different levels. There were people there that had been doing it for a long, long time. There were people there that had just started. Either way, you're going to learn, and I think the biggest thing I would tell people is don't go, oh my god, I got to win this contest because you're probably not. you're probably not gonna. I mean, like Jason broke the numbers down with, if you look at 101 comics in the top 101, 3 make it to the finals. You don't have good odds you should go out and play blackjack at that point. You have better odds, but it's not about the contest. I think if you go in with that, and I run contests at my room out here in Virginia too, and no contest is perfect, and people get upset because they didn't get through, or whatever. But I think if you just go into that looking like, hey, I'm going to get some good stage time, I'm going to get some good feedback, I'm going to learn a ton about the business of comedy, which most people don't think about as much when they first start. I think you can escape a bunch of pitfalls by doing something like that and talking to these folks out there.
Yeah, great. So do it. Do it is what
It's
you
fun.
say.
Yeah,
Do it.
$70 for the whole thing. I mean, to go out there and then to do this, get into satellite, the possibility of doing satellites as well, which means you get to go out and meet people at comedy clubs maybe you wouldn't meet otherwise, and you get to meet comics from all over the country, which this job's all about networking. That's what this business is networking and having people know who you are. So, I mean, I think you can't really go wrong with doing it.
Yeah, it's so true. And while there's, plenty of industry there for, networking for bookings, I think that for most people, the biggest booking opportunity is networking with other comics that were there that run rooms. And so when you're in their city, hopefully you made friends with them, and then you can say, hey, Dwayne, I'm going to be in Virginia next weekend.
And I'll be like, I don't know who you are. No, no, absolutely. I mean, I've gotten bookings out of the satellites, and going and meeting people and talking to them, or you meet people and they go, hey, I can put you in touch with so and so. When you're going to be out in LA, talk to them, or it's all about networking. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. If you want to, I'm going to add a next comic. I've got a full backstage of people waiting to share their takeaways here. So I'm just, free forming, free balling. I'm not going to say.
That means something different.
Right? Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I'm raw dogging this show. I'm going commando.
Is that Manny in the chat?
Anyways.
What's up, Manny? All right.
Well, you want me to dip out Jason Resler as well. So we'll just keep Dwayne here. We'll just see how this goes if I have more than one at a time. So, hey, Jason, where are you based out
of? Right now, I'm in small town Ohio, I guess near Cincinnati. I'll be at the Cincinnati Funny Bone tonight.
Oh, nice. Is that your hometown?
No, I'm a Sacramento / San Francisco comic for a long time. Mom had my wife had to be closer to mom, so we're out here, and which makes sense because I just got a cruise ship agent out of the World Series of Comedy.
What?
Which makes sense because I just moved from California to inland Ohio, so that's pretty much how my life goes. But I can't complain about such a good thing. It was highly, highly productive. But before I even get into that, I want to say that the reunion factor of the World Series of Comedy, man, it just filled my heart. There were guys I hadn't seen since the 90s, literally.
Wow.
Like I said, I'm a Sacramento comic. We had like 4 or 5 different, not different Sacramento comics, but 4 or 5 different, I don't know what you'd say, generations or classes of comedy. Not quite a generation, but once every 4 or 5 years, you're open micing with a different group, right? And it was just cool to have that kind of representation for Sacramento comedy there. And to see so many faces I hadn't seen in so long, see my buddy DJ Sandhu up there, I was sitting there watching a seminar about getting feature work from a guy who I remember getting him some of his first feature gigs.
Oh, I love
it. And I was still able to learn a few things. So, just because you've been in the game for a long time, I've been in the game a quarter of a century, and I learned so much this week, that past week. Plus hanging out with everybody. And I also want to point out, like I did this. I did all that. I got some comedy club bookings. I happened to meet a lot of bookers from the Midwest, from my state in Indiana. I was able to accomplish this. I was just a second rounder. I didn't win. I didn't make the finals. I didn't even make the semis. I was second round, 7-minute set. I hit it. I mean, there's a lot of people that crushed who didn't advance. But then it was a matter of, working the room. I didn't take off and leave town as soon as I was done with my set. Nothing's going to happen that way. I didn't head up to the room and, hide alone by myself. I work, you got to work the room. You got to, it helps if you're genuinely excited to see people and visit with them. I think we all have our social hangups. There certainly are a lot of times I'm the person that goes hide in the room. But man, I was in a good mood to see everybody. It was just so nice. And I probably got a little carried away a couple of the nights, but I'm recovering. So.
What, in Vegas? And
yeah, imagine that.
You didn't have self-restraint there?
Imagine that, a guy in his 50s having to take a knee in Vegas.
I think we all had to take a knee once in a while.
But Jason,
I got my steps in, though. I got my steps in.
We get steps in, that's for sure.
Jason, I want to just highlight what you said, too, because it's so important for people to remember that often your first bookings when you're a brand new comic come from, the friends, the networking and making friends with other comics. And even like you said, a quarter of a century, God, you're old, quarter of a century in, it's still where you're going to get a lot of your bookings is just making friends and being a good person and networking. Right.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're going to assemble, 101 comics who are working and then another, I don't know, about 75, 80 who are, trying to get there. If you have that kind of assembly and you don't get some work or at least some leads or meet some people, then maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing and also how you're interacting with other people in our profession / art form, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, getting together. I mean, Dante mentioned the lapel mics. As far as getting better sound on the camera. And I had spent, I got the Rode mic, shotgun mic, all this. I got a different thing. I've spent all this money on Amazon. And it turned out all I needed was this $36 thing, that I didn't even realize was available and that cheap.
Wow. So you're talking about one of the seminars was Dante. What's his last name? I haven't gone through all my cards.
He's always just gone by Dante the Comic as far as
comic, man. His seminar was amazing. It was really good.
YouTube is amazing too. Does anybody know Dante? What's his YouTube? Let's give him a shout out. Anyway, somebody will let us know here. So
yeah, search for Dante the Comic. He's a good dude. Been around longer than the quarter of a century.
I think I'm just gonna keep adding people here, and then we'll just start keep the discussion going. So
hey, Drew.
Who else is here? Guys? Is Drew Schaefer?
Me. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, Drew, where are you based out of?
Yeah, Sacramento.
Sacramento.
All the Sacramento people in here.
I know.
Spread out all over the country here. So, how many years have you been participating in the World Series of Comedy?
So this was year 5 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the progression like? Do you remember you guys, how far you've come, you guys?
Yeah. So yeah, Jason, when he was on, talked about don't say you guys during your set because I said it 17 times in a 7-minute set. Or no, in a 5-minute set. Yeah, 17 times in a 5-minute set. I would just be like, yeah, you ever go to the store, you guys? And like when somebody's there at the cashier, you guys, you know? And I was just, you guys, 17 times. And then somebody didn't make it to the next round show. It was in Chicago. And they're like, oh, I can't make it. And they're like, hey, you were the next one up. You want it? I was like, yeah. And I'm not going to say you guys. And I didn't say you guys for a full 7-minute set.
Nice.
It was fun. So yeah, that was year 1. Okay. And then by year 5, I think sometimes I say all right, but I don't say all right 17 times in 5 minutes. That's for sure. So it's gotten a lot better.
So your number one takeaway is that you'll learn to not say you guys too many times.
Yeah, like we were saying, like Jason Rowland, like he just like has such good comedy advice. Where even I was in the second round at the main event, and I was like, "Hey, I've been doing my joke about all the girls at my church being threes, and nobody's laughing." And he's like, "Well, you have to make sure, like when you told it the first time, you had just made fun of yourself, and then you made fun of them. And I watched your last set, and you just made fun of everybody, and you kept making fun of everybody, so you just looked like a jerk." And I was like, "Oh." And so I went out and I made fun of myself, and the very next joke was making fun of the girls from my church, and it got a huge laugh. And I was like, "God damn it, Jason!"
Yeah,
always right.
that's a little comedy trick, right? Is that if you're gonna make fun of somebody, because I've heard comics do that where they're like, they're shitting on their wife or something like that, but it's like you have to make
I'm
yourself
right here,
look worse.
Carol.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Even though we all love her,
I'm in the
Dwayne's
room.
whole set is about how terrible his wife is.
It's not
Yep.
true. That's not true. She's great.
But you got to give.
Yeah.
You either have to give him a reason to not like that person before you make fun of him, or you make yourself look worse like that. So that's great.
Yeah. And it's like those small things. It's just so like you don't hear it, you don't think of it, and then somebody tells you and you're like, "Oh, okay." And so that's been like for me over the 5 years doing it, the biggest thing is like just the sit downs afterwards, going over comedy. I took one of Jason's classes and wrote like 20 new minutes of comedy, and it's like, okay, like learning how to just be a funny comedian.
Nice.
It's been fun.
Jason Rowland, again, plugging the world, the Comedy Feedback is his company that he does. That's so great.
Yep. Yeah.
And I gotta just add one more here. We got one more.
Yay!
Hey guys.
Hey!
The world's
Hey,
best
Emmanuel.
darn volunteer, Manny.
Don't know about all that, but I'll take it.
Well, it's official. You got the award for it, so you can't deny.
This is true. I'm this
Here,
humble.
What is the story about the TSA agent trying to take your award, Manny?
Oh, dude,
Oh, yeah.
man. Like, I was kind of hint about it. They run it through the X-ray machine and they pull my bag. Of course they did. The TSA guy looks at it, flips it upside down, looks at it, does and I know I'm gonna take this face. Like, he about to take my trophy, motherfucker. So somebody comes back over and they run it through again. I guess it was too dense to be X-ray properly, so they had to ETD it. But yeah, man, the whole time I'm like, he gonna take it. He gonna say I can't fly with it. Luckily, I got it back though. But man, I would have been pissed if they took my damn trophy.
Right?
Is that how you found that it was actually Joe's secret stash of drugs that were inside the trophy?
Yep.
That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid it's gonna pop off like, oh, that's a hidden compartment.
I'd be afraid there'd be like somebody's ashes in it. That's what I'd be afraid of.
Like, I am going to jail.
What I love is most of those trophies are just random. Like they literally, like Aurora donated a bunch of her old basketball and karate trophies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of
That's
them that I
awesome. Regifting trophies.
regifting trophies. Yeah.
For real.
One of them I won was a women's weightlifting competition trophy. And so when I took that through airport security, I had to explain, like, I'm not a female weightlifter. I am a comedian. And it was the
Oh.
wildest explanation ever.
I would have ran with it.
They pulled yours out too. Okay, so
Yep.
that's good to know that trophies get flagged.
Trophies set off
Sometimes.
TSA.
Especially
You could
if
have
they-
so much fun with that. Be like, well, I used to be a female weightlifter, but
steroids, you know?
Right, yeah, man.
here we are.
No, I want to catch everyone up though. So Manny, where are you based out of?
Indianapolis.
Okay, and how many years have you been participating in the World
This
Series of Comedy?
This past one would have been my 4th year coming out. Third year being in the 101. Because I'm not like these pros who can get into an actual round, so I got to fight my way in.
And just to catch everyone up, actually, it was I think not a dry eye in the audience when Joe went on stage and gave
Yeah.
Manny the best darn volunteer,
Best dang. Yeah,
best dang volunteer, and I teared up. So it's really touching because some
was.
people say some not so great stuff about Joe, but he really has a great heart, and I can see that his whole focus on this is just helping comics get better and
Yeah.
and just recognizing you because I don't even know if you slept, but maybe you slept under the desk there at the check-in table, but you
It
were
didn't
there
feel like
every
it.
time I was there.
Like I'm just getting over being a little sick. I think it was the shock of I was staying up to 3 a.m. Indy time, waking up at 6 a.m. Indy time, going back to doing a 13, 14-hour day. So I think all that finally caught up to me. So I came back. It was, and then there's people smoking in the casino too. I don't smoke, so my throat was getting scratchy. It was just a full-on attack on my immune system. But
Yeah, the rest of you didn't even work that hard as Manny. So
Nobody works as hard as Manny.
I drove back.
I swear to God, man. And you drove back?
Actually, I drove from Cincinnati to Vegas twice this month and back. Yeah.
I
And
thought
I'm working
needed...
this weekend. Manny, come see me. I'm headlining Crackers in Indianapolis Friday and Saturday night.
Okay, bet I'll come out Friday.
You want to come by? It's my first time there, but maybe I can get you on.
Yeah, I'll swing through Friday. Tomorrow? I'll come out tomorrow. I ain't do nothing.
Nice.
Okay, cool, man. Be good to see you.
See,
Likewise,
look at that. There's networking happening here.
continues.
So
all right.
I got in the habit. Now I'm just doing it. I used to be one of them hermit comics, but y'all broke me out of my shell.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's a good thing about the World Series that you guys were saying before I came on, that it's a great way to network and meet people and get a couch to crash on in certain parts of the country, because that matters.
It does. Yeah.
I only have a love seat to crash on, just for the record.
Oh, that's perfect for Manny, though.
It worked for
right.
me. I wasn't good. I softballed that one.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Carol
Manny's
goes for the
actually
low
standing.
hanging fruit.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah, Manny's standing right now. I know it looks like he's sitting, but he's full
Okay,
standing.
first of all, I'm not.
Turning this into a Manny roast.
Speaking of the roast, how you guys feel about that? I think that's going to be a recurring thing now.
Oh yeah, let me set that up. So on Thursday night there was the roast of Joe Lauer, so the midnight show, and any comic that was there could sign up for it. I think we had about 20 comics that signed up. It was a little bit complex. So the first round was every comic went up and did one roast joke, and then on the stage it was Joe, Jason, and David Kousgaard, which is one of the hosts of the World Series of Comedy, and they had a photo, I guess, that was a thumbs up or thumbs down.
They made that right before the show too.
Yeah, your one joke, they all three of them voted whether you got a thumbs up or thumbs down, and those that got 2 or more thumbs up got passed to the next round technically, which then was an audience vote for the top 2. And
it's AGT.
Yes. And I was disappointed. I worked really hard and Kevin Eggleston, one of the other hosts of the World Series of Comedy, he did a writing session earlier that day, and I was debating which joke to start with. And when backstage, you can't hear what's being said on stage. And so I don't know if I'm going to get canceled for saying this live out here, considering we're not in a comedy club, but my joke was Joe is the oldest person to have ever won the Special Olympics. And apparently right before I went on stage, Kevin had said, okay, that ends the Special Olympics of this portion of this. And so then I couldn't hear that. And so then for me, opening with that joke is like, it went very flat. And I didn't get a pass. Joe gave me a thumbs up, but the other 2 gave me thumbs down. I was disappointed. And then so the top two were
me,
Drew and
Jess and Jess. What's Jess' last name?
Harding.
Jess Harding.
Yeah, another Sacramento comedian.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys.
So then the second round then was Drew and Jess roasting each other, which you both were killer.
Right.
And then was it audience vote who got to go on to the next one? Is that what it was? I forgot.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then the final round was the winner of those 2 then roasted Joe. So Drew pulled through, just barely getting the audience vote to go on to roast Joe. But then the audience was like, we also want to hear Jess as well. So it ended up being kind of a tag team where both Drew and Jess roasted Joe, and they both destroyed him.
It was fun. That was fun. Yeah.
So little behind the scenes on that. One, I went first with the intent of getting thumbs down. That way, people wouldn't feel bad for being the first one. I was like, I'm gonna go first, thumbs down me. That way, the pressure's off. That didn't happen. So, like, y'all missed the memo. And then, I guess the word didn't get to everybody at the end when they were going to decide between Drew and Joe. Nobody was supposed to clap for Joe. It was supposed to be dead silent. But somebody missed the memo and cheer like, "Yeah, way to fuck it up." Appreciate that.
Manny, do you remember your joke?
Yeah, my joke was Joe looks like the kid from Jerry Maguire if everything went wrong in his life.
Yeah.
It's
Drew,
funny.
do you remember your first joke?
I said Joe loves poker, which is ironic because he's a joker that his mom should have flushed.
Damn.
Ooh,
Yeah.
how
Go hard,
creative
fat.
is-
You got one joke. You got to go hard, man. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
The
He
shock
led with
value, the shock value that the nicest guy at the festival would say something like that out loud was just
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, I wasn't down there. The nicest guy. Oh, you mean you?
yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. That's probably gonna be a recurring thing next year.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that was
that
fun.
was great.
It really was. I enjoyed that little roast.
That's good.
It was fun. I had so many other ones too, and I'm like, I should have picked a different one to start with. My other one I could have done was Joe looks like Wilford Brimley and Teddy Ruxpin didn't have enough insulin.
You should have lived with that one. That was funny.
I know you can't go back in time. but,
Right,
you know,
hindsight.
now it's not wasted. I guess I can save it for next year. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, that writing session beforehand was so fun. I was so drunk on pina coladas, trying to come off of it. I just went real Vegas. I went full, sat by the pool with a pina colada, and yeah, then suddenly it was roast time. So
Right.
you killed it, Drew. It was great.
Thank
It was
you.
so fun to watch. It's
Thanks.
fun when somebody you think is just, a kindergarten teacher and sweet and innocent, like
And
digs.
then here come the
You don't have to
fangs.
dig deep to get the mean.
It's
Yeah.
always the ones that you think are nice that hurt the
Mhm.
most.
Mhm.
It's
You
like
guys talking about comics or Predators?
serial. Drew
see
can
what
hide
they-
some bodies. I guarantee
Yeah.
Drew has bodies somewhere.
yeah, I have a
Oh.
fake background for a reason right now.
It's like I killed 3
I'm
people.
sorry,
today.
but if Drew stars in a movie as a serial killer someday, I'm watching that shit.
Right.
This is
No,
this way.
you're gonna
he
be in
can-
it, Jason.
This is the way
Just
he
for
can
a little bit
deny
though.
that
You won't be
he's.
in the whole movie.
This is the way Drew can deny that he's within 300 yards of an elementary school right now.
That's awesome.
See, I wish you had said that at the roast. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, well,
Well, we got her. It wasn't part of the roast, but if anybody was in there for the seminar when Neil from Toronto said that he wanted to merchandise his nuts. Man.
well, Neil
Yeah.
was supposed to be here today, and he told me he's gonna. So apparently, Neil. I forgot his last name. Neil. I've got it written down here. Neil Galani. He told me he's going to send me some nuts and he wants to be a sponsor of this show. So when they show up, this show, I can talk about how, no nuts I'd rather have in my mouth while doing a podcast than Neil's, but
The response from the lady from Carnival won the whole show. She's like, "You will not sell nuts." She was like, there was no bullshit. It was like, you will
It
not.
was just such
do
a
that.
silly, stupid joke, and to make comics are gonna laugh at the dumbest, easiest joke
Oh
ever.
yeah,
right?
we're immature sometimes.
Yep.
oh, and speaking of that, somebody that couldn't be here today, Brian Atkinson, who apparently has a day job. I said, I don't know why you can't just live in your van like a real comic. But he says his first takeaway, if I sold nuts, I'd charge an almond a leg.
Oh. Stop, Brian.
That's why he has a day job.
That's why he has a day
Yeah,
job.
yeah, you set that up.
I'm glad he has a nice voice.
He said it in a real nice voice, though.
Yes. Let's
That
do
is-
the Brian. The
It was
Brian. Wait, I
radio
could do it again.
primetime voice. It was beautiful.
If I sold nuts, I'd charge an almond a leg.
Keep saying
Back
it.
to
It's
you
gonna
in
get
the-
funnier.
Back to you in the weather station.
And sometimes we need to get reminded how hard what we do is.
In
And
fair.
Brian did a good job of that.
That was.
at the
I
main
got.
event.
That's another thing you get out of the festival. You know, some of those sets you watch, you're like, hey, this shit ain't easy.
Oh yeah, right.
That's such a nice way of putting it.
How we were all there, and we'll all be back there again. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
the,
shit.
the best act of 2023 might not play in 2027. You know, you got to keep working it. You got to keep writing it. You know, if you get lazy on it, once you think you got that killer hour, well, in a few years that hour might not be so killer. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Like Jason, you've been doing this long enough that comedy has changed so much in 25 years. You know, that 80s.
Yeah, I mean, as it should have. I mean, if it's a good art form, it should change and it should grow. And if we're good performers, we should change and we should grow. You know, people are telling us certain things that they don't want to hear. Hey, you know, you need to listen to your audience, know how to read the crowd. So I welcome the challenge of writing new stuff. You know, yeah, I don't want to be remembered by some of that old shit.
Right.
What specific old shit do you not want to be remembered by, Jason? Could you repeat that?
I already took them tracks down. I already slid the YouTube padlock on that shit. Yeah.
How
So
to get
Drew-
Jason canceled in one?
Drew and Manny. Drew and Manny, what takeaways do you have from the main event?
You can go ahead, Drew.
I mean, for me, I think it really is like we were saying, like it's that networking and just understanding, like you're meeting people from across the country, and we're all doing it because we like to make people laugh. And it was just so cool to like this year, I finally was like just having fun at the shows. Like every other year, I was like so competitive. I was the guy. This year, I kept it to 2 hours. I wallowed in self-pity for 2 hours after the quarterfinals. But otherwise, I was like, just have fun and be a person. Like, we're all just trying to have more fun. So my biggest takeaway is like, do the World Series of Comedy. It's fun and just enjoy it while you're there because only one person wins. So be one of the other 100 and just enjoy it. So, yeah.
So I'm dying to know your 2 hours of wallowing in self-pity. Like what did that look like? Were you in the bathtub, pina coladas, or what were you?
Yeah, so what exactly was it? I remember trying to hang out with everybody after the show, and I was like, I've been smiling for so long and I can't smile anymore. Like people were like, they could see like the smile was gone from my face. I was like, I don't want to like have that impression on people. I was like, I'm going to go to my room. And I just sat in the room on the bed and just like thought about the top floor. And I was like, don't think about the top floor. Like, I was like, that's 108 stories. I was like, nope. And then I was like, nope, you're fine. And I reminded myself I did better than last year. The meet and greet, people remembered who I was this year, which is like,
nice.
And I just started remembering all the good things. And it was like, I just literally like did not move from the bed. I just sat perfectly still on the bed for 2 hours. And I got up, I was like, all right, let's go drinking. And then I drank way too much. And it was great.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I
Now,
think that's a good topic. I'd love to hear from the rest of you too then. Like, what's your recovery process after you have a performance that wasn't what you wanted it to be?
I agree with Drew. Drinking is a good cure.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to drink
honestly,
after a good set and keep the buzz going, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I kind of wallow a little bit, but then I'm like, all right, tomorrow, let's go. It's like one of those things, like it's easy to say, like I'm gonna have bad sets. I mean, I ate shit last night, and it was at a spot, and it was like, all right. Then you go to another spot like a half hour later, and you're like, okay, that was good. It's just like one of those things you just gotta kind of put it away. Ted Lasso, be a goldfish, right? So
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and I want to be clear here. Drew did not have a bad set.
No,
Drew had a great set, but unfortunately, there were some people that got higher scores and moved on. So
yeah, no.
It's
I
one
just
of
want to
those.
make sure that was clear. That
Yes.
Thank you. It's one of those, like, it's so funny because even like my bad sets are so much better than my good sets used to be.
yeah,
And so it's like that perspective. You got to remind yourself, like,
Yeah.
look at a video from 2 or 3 years ago and be like, that was the best I could do. And it's not even close to my bad set last night or tonight or whenever it was, you know? So, yeah.
I like to watch 24-year-old video of Jason. And go, man, he was good. but he was
you
canceled."
probably wouldn't make it very long. I can't watch that for longer than a few seconds.
I'm kidding. Yeah, that's a good
I'm
point.
a little bit
Good
the
question.
opposite. I give myself hell leading up to a big or what I perceive as a big or an
Really?
important show. Afterwards, regardless of where I'm at, especially, I feel like most of my bad set these days are generally in places that I don't want to make a career out of playing anyway. You know, some bar, some brewery. And after those bad sets, I'm usually laughing at them because it's kind of funny bombing. I mean, it might not be funny to the audience, but it cracks me up how, you know, you could get a group of 150 people over here that absolutely loved it, but these 150 people over here or 80 people over here didn't have time for it. There is some humor in that for me. You just got to laugh it off, move on to the next one. I get a little nervous if I've had too many good shows in a row because I know a stinker's coming.
Oh yeah, ain't that the truth? So to backtrack a little bit, I know me and Drew talked a little bit after his set. So I guess you had your downward spiral after we talked or before.
Yeah, it was all your fault, actually. Yeah.
Way to go, Manny.
After I was done talking to you, I was like, man.
But my takeaway from the World Series economy is the same thing it always is. I really go to catch up with my friends or haven't seen in a year to network a little more. I actually walked away with 6, possibly 7 bookings this year, which is a first for me. So, and a lot of that came from people who didn't even see my set. I guess that's just word of mouth. I'm okay. Yay. But
is that trophy you're carrying around there? Like,
I know,
this guy
right?
must be good.
After speaking of which, I came up from the elevator and there was this group of drunk guys like, congratulations! Oh my goodness! Like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, bye. But after a bad set, I try not to get in my head too much about it because, like Jason said, it happens. It's one of those. It's coming. I had a string of good shows for like a month straight, and like, yep, this next one probably going to bomb, and I'm okay with that. But it's a. I'm sure you guys know it's a roller coaster. You have good sets, jokes that are kill with one crowd. You do the same joke with the same of a different crowd the next night. Nothing. It's nature of the beast. You just gotta keep all the punches sometimes.
That's my addiction theory of this is that, you know, things that are addictive are intermittently reinforcing and unpredictably reinforcing, and comedy is totally that, right? And, you know, hopefully when you're as far in as Jason is, that you're getting more reinforcing ones than not, but that unpredictability of like sometimes you're going to do poorly and then the next one the high is even greater. So but you're always chasing the next big high, like, okay, so that was good, but where's the winning this whole series thing? So
it's important to soak in the sights and the people you meet, the friendships along the way. Soak it all in, because this life is you know, not everybody gets to do something like this. A lot of you know, some people don't have any desire to do much with their life at all. People do different things, but I love that we get to travel and go different places, meet different things. You know, a lot of times we sacrifice. We have friends that, you know, it only lasts for a few days, and then we might not see them again. And then 20 years later, you get to some comedy festival and they're there. You know.
Yeah. For sure.
I try to soak it in. If I had one thing I could change, I'm trying to take more pictures these days with everybody. I wish I would have done a better job there. I feel almost bad that there were some people I wanted to visit with. I barely got any time. That's how busy it was. But that's a little incentive to maybe go next year if it's free on the calendar.
Yep.
For sure.
So
Yep.
Rob Lee couldn't be here. I don't know where he's out of, but I did tell him I would share. He sent me his takeaways. Now he said he was going to be also having a day job. And do any of you know Rob Lee?
If I saw him.
Yeah,
by
by
name.
name. Not by name, no.
His profile picture is him with a beer. If that helps.
Oh yeah, that helps.
And so since he's not here, we can just talk shit about what he shared. So, what do you so I asked him, what do you think of the festival overall? He says main takeaway of the festival was how open everyone was. Great to talk to, very generous with giving advice, listening to ideas. And he apparently doesn't know how to format a full sentence, but felt like I was more than just a rookie comic, but that I fit in with the comedy crowd or scene, however you would describe it. I wouldn't describe it, Rob. I'm just reading what you wrote here. Let's see. I'd asked before the Boston Satellite of a Comic should still attend, even if they didn't make it into the top 40 for that show or the 101 for the main event. And Joe was very positive in his answer that even if you didn't make it into either, that you should still attend because of the networking alone, which I think we're all agreeing here today. He had also said that registered comics will get stage time if they attend, and I'm glad I listened to his advice. Getting a glimpse of behind the scenes, how things were run for comics during a show was a great insight. Plus, I learned a little bit about pacing because even though my set was only 4 minutes, it felt like I was talking for much longer. Well, that's what happens when you don't get many laughs, right? No.
Yeah,
okay.
woo.
That's terrible.
No, like that is
really good, Rob.
fact.
Sorry.
That's a true statement. When you are bombing, 5 minutes feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
It's woo. That's woo.
Manny, you were way too quick to respond to that. You were like, "Yep, I know exactly what that feels."
No, because like I've been there. Like I've had bad sex where it's like, you know what?
Yeah,
this is happening, and I'm only a minute and a half in. Jesus Christ!
You're like, I have
Where is the
15 minutes of jokes that I just went through in 4 minutes. That's
Like-
that's how you know.
Like, where is the light? Well, that's what time, everybody.
Yep.
And so I really, one of the things he shared here too was one of his tips for future attendees was paying attention to video quality. And who was that who said? Dwayne was talking about that, right?
Yeah.
About pay attention to video quality. He says the video he submitted, which is the one he had at the time, was from Porch Fest Day in my hometown. I was doing my set, and for the beginning part, you could hear a band up the street playing, and the fact that the first heckler was his friend's dog. So I think that would be one of my biggest takeaways of working with Jason in his comedy.
I want to see that tape.
Yeah. Woof, woof.
Rob, post that, dude.
That's one of the things I'm looking forward to next year, is that I feel so much better prepared of how to put together a video, because I kind of was the same way of like, oh, I'll fly to this. Okay, this video. Okay, this one's about that length of time. I think there's some laughs in this. Let's send this in. And now I feel like I'm gonna have such a better video next year.
Yeah, a bad tape can really land you in a bad situation. Rich Gene was a victim of that, and so was Hey Jay. They both had crap videos, and that's how they ended up on the Registered Comedian show, which they didn't belong in my opinion. I've seen them both in the show. They're both really, really funny comics, but a bad video, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so another plug for Jason has a course that's 6 weeks that's all about how to put together a 5-minute showcase video that can kill at any festival submission, I think. So
Yeah.
And all right, I see Thomas Lee Eskin is maybe here, but his video isn't on. Let's see. Oh yeah, Thomas. I recognize him.
That's fun.
There he is.
I'm here. I'm just.
Oh yeah, okay, just video or audio. Hey Thomas, where are you based out of? I'm gonna pretend like I don't know you.
I'm based out of Phoenix. I'm driving right now. I'm based out of Phoenix. I'm all the way in like Buckeye.
Buckeye, okay, which is a suburb of Phoenix for those of you that don't know. So you're gonna go entertain the MAGA people in Buckeye, right?
Wait, are we on a high speed chase right now, man?
Wait, what was that?
Well, I mean, I'm driving Uber, so it's about the same thing.
Oh, do you have somebody in your car right now? Hey,
I hope not.
Hey, passenger.
One star
Nobody's in
rating.
the car.
Yeah, 1 star. Dude, you're done.
You guys think that I tell these jokes out of nothing. I really am an Uber driver. That's where I get it from.
No, we believe you, and
Oh,
we
we
also
believe
don't.
it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Later.
Nope.
Uber just canceled him. They're like, nope, you can't
gotta
do
cut
that
like,
while you're
nope.
driving.
Yeah, they heard it.
We don't think
Done.
anybody lies about driving for Uber.
Yeah, that's not a good flex.
Yeah. No, I really am an Uber driver.
Yeah,
Eh,
don't,
We know. We
don't
got
want,
it. We got
I
it.
don't want to brag on myself, but I do DoorDash. No, I don't.
Right? I have. It's not fun.
Employee of the month.
Man, hey, DoorDash was a different beast, man. Like, if I ever get to do a longer set, I have a DoorDash joke in my set. That's a callback to a joke I make earlier. I really do need to make that. I really do need to fix that and have it be my closer, or have it be in my set. Now I think about it.
I love that let's just workshop Manny's set.
Yeah.
Man.
But that's another takeaway I got from Jason. That make your closer, I guess your opener, isn't it? I think what Domi says. That way
Yeah.
people can hear it.
Yeah.
People are guaranteed to hear it.
Put your best joke up top in your set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was something different that I learned this last year, was that a showcase set is different than a showcase show, right? So I'd only heard the term showcase, meaning like it's a show that there's several comics and they all do maybe like a 10-minute set on. That's the only thing I ever knew a showcase was. And then hearing, getting the feedback from my submission video where they kept using the term of like, oh, this is for a showcase set, you want to do this or that. And so it was working with Jason. I realized like, oh, a showcase set is very different than a tight 5 or your 5-minute set. And anyway, so take his class to learn more. But also I highly recommend, if you feel like you don't have a good video to submit for festivals or World Series of Comedy, Jason, not Jason Resler, but Jason Rowland. And Dwayne's got a
don't
class
come
too,
text
so-
me about your stupid video.
Hold on, I gotta delete this text. JC, please watch
Thomas, how many years have you been participating in the World Series of Comedy?
This is my second year doing it.
Okay.
It's been fun so far.
Hey, Thomas, when'd you leave, man?
Oh, Thomas. Okay, yeah, man. He was hilarious. Yeah, he was kind of out of there.
Yeah, you dipped like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Didn't say bye to nobody, you fucking bum.
Hey, I was doing a lot of
driving-
traveling this month, and I had a lot of stuff going on a month prior. So as soon as I finished up over there, I remembered like, hey, I still got to get my life together back in Phoenix. So I started making my plans.
He's been driving nonstop ever since. So
Yeah, gotta make up for
Nah, I
some
mean,
days,
I've been-
man.
Yeah, man. As soon as I got back, I went and checked out the Big Pine Festival for at Mike Drop Mania.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Ain't
good
mad
crew.
at it.
Yeah,
Well,
so
this
I'm
show-
working, Emmanuel. I'm working.
Oh,
Don't
you
come
know.
for me.
Are you?
So Thomas, what are your takeaways? Well, let's focus on the World Series of Comedy. We can talk about the Big Pine and other festivals another time. But what are your takeaways? I mean, you came back for a second year, so what keeps you coming back?
It's really the exposure and getting to meet a lot of comics. You get to see a lot of people from a lot of different places, a lot of different skill levels, and it's really just the networking in it that's the main thing. Because like a lot of these guys I met in the first year, I'm still talking to through this year, and it's got me on other things outside of the Phoenix area. Met people that I knew that actually were in Tucson, or seeing people in Vegas. I had people that I met in North Carolina with their comedy festival through it. So it's really just the exposure and getting to go to these different places and start to link up with other comics. So when you are in the area, you're not just sitting there just picking your nose at a hotel. You got things to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're picking other comics' noses in a hotel.
Yeah.
Or whatever body part you feel like picking.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there on a podcast, That was
That reminds me of I think the worst joke I ever wrote, and it was long before I was a comedian. About how do I even start out? Let's say you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't flick your friends across the room.
That's a weird one. Where's that slogan from? Is that like a Tennessee thing?
Nah, I
Don't
think
you
that's the Carol.
remember that? Like you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't
Pick your
pick your
friend's
friend's nose. I think is what the original.
Oh yeah, I was like, that's
The
what my
original-
grandma used to say.
Yeah, dad joke. Yeah.
That's what my grandma used to, that's a great come back to a joke. That's what my grandma used to say.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now we know where Drew got his sense of humor.
Honestly, more than I care to admit. Yes.
All right, hey guys, I'm gonna have to bounce off of here, but Carol, thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Good
I
to
gotta
see
get
everybody
showered
again.
up for a show myself.
Yeah, Dwayne, pop in the comment here.
Yeah.
Pop a link to your class, your course, your feedback, whatever it is you said you do.
Yeah, right on. Yeah.
We'll
It's a
share
class
that
for
with everyone.
veterans. It's a stand-up comedy boot camp for
Okay.
veterans and family members out in the DC area. And they also have a branch in Indianapolis, and they got a branch in San Diego and Hampton Roads as well. So it's a cool organization.
Oh, nice.
I will. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, later,
Anyone
man.
else?
See you
Any,
guys.
other closing? Oh, he put it there. Okay, I will.
Oh, I don't know where you want me to put it. I'm sorry.
Okay, I will add it into the comments of the live stream so that everyone else can see it as well. So we'll do that afterwards.
That's
So,
just a nonprofit that I work with sometimes. So
okay.
Oh, nice.
Thanks
see
for
you
being here,
guys.
Dwayne.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Later, brother.
Congrats on the
Who else
cruise
said
gig,
Who else said they
Jason.
were leaving?
Thanks, man.
Jason's got to go. Thank you for being here, Jason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for
whatever-
having me, Carol. It
What-
was really nice to meet everybody. I hope to see y'all again. And y'all keep being funny. Everybody on here is funny. So
We'll see you next year, if not before.
take care.
All right, man.
Bye,
I'll see you
Jason.
soon, man.
Okay.
Well, what seminars were your favorite seminars?
I was lame. I only went to the Q&As. I was super lame. When it's your 5th year, a lot of them start to repeat a lot of the same things,
Yeah,
which is
they do.
nice. Like, it's good that it means people are consistently agreeing on the same things. But yeah, the Q&As, they're always good because it really is like they put aside any sort of like, this is a seminar, and they're just like honest with you. And sometimes like I've been to them and the bookers have just straight up said, oh, I book you based on how many followers you have.
Oh yeah.
And have been honest where it's like the hard truth that you need. And other times they just like, they pull back the door and tell you, oh, email me on Monday at 3 p.m. with your avails for the next 3 months. That's how I book. And it's like, that's info you wouldn't get anywhere else. So those are always really good.
Yeah, there's one booker in particular whose name I won't say. If you guys know him, you know him. Who I don't know why he continuously comes to the NSC meet and greet, because he won't book you. Like he'll flat out tell you, I'm not gonna book you from my room.
Yep.
So yeah, Drew knows where he is.
Yeah.
And like,
Doesn't
why are
make
you
sense.
even here, fam? Like,
Yeah.
why are you wasting up a room for Jason and Joe to give to somebody who actually wants to book new people? But
Yeah.
he's a yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those like, yeah, we're all looking for feature and maybe even host work, and it's like it's a comedy group that you have to pass a year of auditions to get into.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, I'm not going to travel to a place for a year to do a show.
And for a maybe, yeah.
For maybe, yeah. So it's like, yeah, the out of towners makes no sense for them. So
Yeah,
I
no.
feel bad.
But
Do you
yeah,
find then that the festival kind of gives you an idea of like next goals or next steps? I kind of think of like your comedy career as kind of like a ladder of like, you know, you start open mic and then you get your very first no pay booking, you know, and all these thousands of steps that you've got to go through. Do you find that then the exposure to this and everybody at different levels and the industry that's there, it kind of helps you identify, okay, maybe this is my next goal of my career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're talking to people that, you know, are doing every direction you can go in comedy. You got cruises, you got colleges, you got clubs, you got brewery tours. Like, it's literally every direction. And it really is like, yeah, what's your new goal? Like, oh, I didn't even know that I could go make money doing cruises, but now I do. So yeah, it's definitely good for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a great way to get I guess more know-how of the business, because there's a lot of it I didn't understand before I started going to this that now my eyes are open to.
There were a couple more people that said they were going to be here. I'm just going to send them a message really quickly to see.
Yeah. I will say while you're doing that, so you don't have to pay attention, Carol, I'll just tell a story.
Yeah. Oh, good. Perfect.
I do love that the World Series of Comedy last year for me, or no, 2 years ago for me, there was a satellite at my home club in Sacramento, and the booker had booked me to host an outdoor show at the same time that the World Series was going on inside the club. And I was like, well, it's the semifinals and the finals are at the same time. And then I sent that text, and then I waited a couple minutes. Then I sent, so yeah, it's safe to book me for the outdoor show. And then we both laughed at it, like, ha ha ha, Drew's not going to make it to the semis or the finals. And then I did, and it was like at that moment that she oh, I can pass Drew as a comedian now just because of that. Like literally, I had been trying. I'd done a bunch of showcases in front of her, open mics, whatever. And it was at that moment that she was like, okay, let's get you your first official weekend. And I was like,
Nice.
oh, okay. So it's like even
Nice.
just a small scale, like it gets you in with clubs that maybe thought you were just a 10-minute open micer. Like suddenly she saw me as a real comedian. So it pays off.
It does. It absolutely does. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Whenever you could travel, people take you more seriously. So
Yep.
World Series definitely affords that travel. I won't say afford it like they pay for it, but like they give you the opportunity to get out to other states that you wouldn't necessarily have the ability to get into it first. So it lets you get your foot in the door in a lot of places.
Definitely. Yeah, there's so much value. Like when people are like, oh, if you're ever in town, I'll vouch for you. It's like, yeah, if you're traveling, you'll earn a vouch from any comedian who's seen you. Like
Right.
maybe harsher on their local comedians, but if you're a traveling comedian, oh, that vouch, they'll give it to you. And then you just have to prove that it was well deserved. So
Right. Yeah. Don't have them stick up. Don't have them.
And when you get back home, it helps you at your home clubs too.
Speaking of ability to travel, it reminds me of Anthony Crescenzo. Is that how you say his last name? On his card, I just love this. On the back of it, he's got, of course, his contact info, which I won't share here publicly, but he has car, sound, light, up to 90 minutes of material plus crowd work, and then he's got a QR code for his. I'm sure it's his website or EPK, but who would thought to put on your card that I have a car ready to travel, to drive you anywhere. I've got sound and light.
it's important.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the biggest grind of being able to travel.
Yep.
And a lot of times you travel for not such good pay, but you got to get
Hey,
your name out there
everyone.
somehow.
We've got a last minute drop in. Look who's here, everyone. The one,
No.
the only. Got flowers.
All right, I'm leaving.
I forgot.
Right.
You
I forgot
forgot.
that's what's going on.
You had too much going on the last however many months and years. So, yay.
I was
Okay,
up
you guys,
late
we can
last
stop
night going
talking
through-
crap about him now. Be
Right.
nice.
Yeah, I was up late last night going through 250 emails
Oh my gosh, I
That
can't
sounds like
imagine.
fun.
that I had. I got down to 12 and then woke up today to 56. I was like,
Oh, that's not bad.
Hey, that's a win.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh.
Joe, what are your takeaways of the main event for the World Series of Comedy?
I loved it. I was really happy with everything. I thought it went smooth. I was real excited about the industry that came out. I just was responding to an email from Alexis from Norwegian. She had sent me an email thanking me for having her, but I'm like, man, I thank you for being here. So it was cool. It seems like it keeps getting better. I don't know if I'm just getting better at, figuring stuff out, or I don't know. It was fun. It was a good one. I
Probably a
think
little bit of both.
I feel like all the comedians had a good time, and that's really all that matters to me.
Yeah.
How does it feel facing your roast beater here through?
I had a feeling I would lose because I was tired and not ready, and I wanted to make Drew feel good about his life.
Just a
So
giving.
I let him have that one little win that he because he doesn't get that many in life. So
No. I want to keep roasting Joe now that he's on camera because I'm like, look at his room. Doesn't he look like he's about to commentate on Pittsburgh sports on ESPN?
correct. Yeah.
Like, we just haven't been the same since Big Ben left. We haven't been able to win.
And then I got my strategic hats placed right there. Yeah.
But instead of a Twitch channel, he's got like an AOL chat room.
Yep.
Right.
All right. So how did this whole thing go? Was there a lot of kids about the festival? Did I miss some good shit talk?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I
did.
think the big consensus, everybody kind of one of the common threads of the takeaway was just the networking opportunities for with other comics and the industry, and even if you didn't get booked from industry, it was the networking with from a couch to crash on when you're in somebody else's city to bookings from other comics and other leads that way. I think that was the common
Cool.
Yeah.
common thread there. So
Sending out an email hopefully in the next week or so, looking for people who want to join the festival in all kind of avenues. If you're good at social media, if you want to learn our email game, because we're pretty good at it, and if you want to learn how to do that, host all kind of stuff. So I need some people to get this stuff.
Job openings apply within.
Mhm.
I gotta just prepare myself for all the
I
stuff.
can't point.
Who are you pointing at?
I was trying to point at other direction.
Yeah.
Reverse. Okay. Right
for
here and right here.
For who you're nominating.
I'm nominating 2 people right now. You guys should do it.
This
You'll
is
learn.
not high school
Popularity contest.
yeah, or like wait, what was it called? You run for school office. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
school
I
president.
already talked to this gentleman. I'm pointing the wrong way too.
Yeah.
Am I pointing the right way? I already talked to this gentleman, but I don't want to mess up his life, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to let him host.
Yeah.
Manny's got a big
He's ready, and I'd hire him in a minute.
Oh,
But-
thank you, Joe.
Yeah, but if
Manny's got a big life transition. Are you allowed, or is it a secret, or you want to share?
Oh, no.
Manny?
They know I'm getting married next year in October, and I'm saving up for that. We got the wedding venue picked out. We're compiling the guest list and all that good jazz. So and Joe made a good point. Coming to the award, committing to that out right after I get married. Probably a bad move.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my host has to be a degenerate comedian that lives in his car and has no care about money or anything like that. But that's probably low on the list of what I would like. Or a comedian that has a good support group to help them, because the money's not good. The travel, but the experience you're going to get out of it is good. You're going to get to work in all the top clubs that you've been trying to get into. You're going to hopefully learn a lot from myself and Jason and everybody else on the team. It's a great experience that way. I have a few leads here. Carol, I got to talk to you some more about it. I know you're interested. I could tell you honestly on here, it's so hard to hire a female host, and it has nothing to do with you being a female on stage. I would absolutely love that. It has to do with I don't have enough money in our budget to have 2 hotel rooms.
To pay for all my makeup too. It's really
No,
expensive.
not even that. Just to have 2 hotel rooms for my host, and they have to share. And I know, Carol, you had mentioned that you're like, I'm fine with that, but depending on who I get as the other one, their wife or spouse or whatever may not be. And then it's really juggling this, because there's so many talented people that I would love to have. Like I would love to work with you, Carol, and I don't know how to make that work. We can definitely talk about it, and if there's a way, but that would put more stress on you, because I can't pay for 2 rooms. I just can't. I don't. I'm pushing these clubs to give me what they already give me. So I mean, it's crazy how this business works, and where I'm at, and all the stuff I have to go through. And then somebody submits and says, I want to do it. I'm like, my job first is when I put this email out, I know I'm going to get a ton of people saying they want to do it. Once they say, then my job after that is to talk them out of it, to explain every single thing that this happens, and if they still want to do it. So,
Well, like you and Jason have said, that 90% of the job is not on stage.
that's not even, that's part, I mean, it's crazy, but that's so low on the list of what I'm looking at, because, and maybe it's cocky on my end, but I feel like if you are comfortable enough to get on stage, I can train you and teach you what to say to host the festival. And if you have some jokes, you'll be able to work those in, and then you'll start having fun after you figure out how to say all the shit that I want you to say. It's the crawling on the floor and taping the cords down and carrying these heavy boxes of shit in. And every year I try to cut down on what we're bringing. But I mean, Jason and I just had a meeting this week, and I think we're signing a big sponsor, and they're going to be sending us product to give away. And
are they nuts?
No, it's not nuts.
I mean, Dr. Squatch.
Yeah.
Wait, is it really?
Yep.
Oh,
nice. We landed it. Go team.
They're great.
Awesome.
By the way, I don't know.
You're not allowed to announce it yet, or
I don't know if we're allowed to announce it. I mean, they said yeah.
Okay,
well, sending out the contract to them, and I think I feel confident. I mean, if it doesn't happen, that's par for the course. I've gotten excited about other things, but I think it's going to, and they want us to give away products. So they're sending us, I think, thousands of bars of soap.
Good. That's
to every
so fun.
But there's new signage, and I'm looking at the step and repeats, and I'm looking online to see if they want to order one of them, because they'll pay for it and we'll have to put it up. And I'm like, oh man, that's another whole big case. Like that. That's what pops in my head. Like, oh, that would look really cool with the satellite. And then I'm like, oh, whoever I get has to have a big enough car to put that in too, right? Because yeah, it's just crazy. Because we could find a smaller step and repeat, but then it's harder to build at the satellite. But if we buy a better one, it just pops up. It takes a bigger case. And I'm like, so it's not just having the separate repeat at the thing. I'm like, I got to get that from this satellite to that satellite to that satellite.
Well, you know the formula now to get sponsors. So each year, if we just do some more crazy antics of videos with the next product you want, we can.
Yeah, we had that almost done though, so don't get too excited. Like,
fine, all right.
Oh wait, so you're telling me it wasn't my leg folding up with the can on there that sold him? That wasn't it?
Was it Brian Valencia and his acrobatics?
It was Brian.
I'm getting a text right now. It's probably Jason telling me to shut up.
Well, I will say, unprompted, their soap is incredible. They gave it to us at a festival in Sacramento, and at the end of like the bar of soap, I just left it in my car so the smell would be like a car freshener, and it worked. It worked. Yeah, it was really good.
So, Joe, along these lines,
go ahead.
Oh, along these lines, can you talk about what's going to be different next year for the festival? Because I know there's some changes coming.
Yeah, we're cutting back on the satellites. I was originally, we were going to go 6 satellites. We're already up to 9, I think, that I have booked. So it might end up being 10 satellites, which is much of a change. That's another thing. But there'll be anywhere between 9 and 10 satellites this year, and we're adding WSOC recording shows, which I'm real excited. We just got our first check from Sirius the other day, which is exciting because Jason's been working his butt off getting these tracks to them, and it was finally cool to just see. It wasn't a lot, but it was just cool to see something and see it starting to work. And our plan next year is to, by the end of this year, Jason will be releasing almost 10 more CDs from all the satellites last year.
Nice.
And then we should be caught up. And by January, we're going to start 2024. And our plan is to record all the satellites and still release those tracks, but also add the WSOC recording shows where they're kind of going to be set up almost like a regular standard show, except we're going to have 12 guest spots, and those guest spots will be chosen from registered comics who register for the festival. And Jason and I still have to work that out on how that's going to, if it's going to be a random draw, if we're going to select them. The nice thing about the WSOC record shows is we don't have to follow all the rules of the festival. I'm really strict on the rules of the festival, and I'm really, the festival works because of the rules and because I don't change the rules for anybody. These recording shows are just solely to get good audio clips of comics that we think are going to do well on series. So everything might be hand selected, and but we're definitely going to take in the fact of the videos that they've done in the past and sent us how they've ended up in the satellites. So we're going to have 12 guest spots throughout the week. There'd be 2 a night, and then we'll hand pick somebody to feature that week, and they'll do 20 to 25 minutes and 6 shows, and our goal will end up with 1 CD from them, or album, whatever you call it now, a track from them, cassette, and then I'll headline, because haven't gotten a chance to do that. And if we end up with any clips from me, that's great. I don't care. It's mostly just to get. I would like to see us come out of each one of those WSOC recording shows with 2 CDs, one with a compilation of the guest sets, and one from a full length CD from somebody.
Nice.
Yep. So it'll be fun, and we're gonna switch it up. If you do one guest set at one club, then you can't do them anywhere else. That way, we'll try to get as many in, and that's by design. We want to get as many tracks, and there'll come a time we start repeating some comics with tracks, but that's fine too. They start getting well known, and if they get played, so cool.
That sounds great, man. Sounds like you guys got a good plan together, man. I'm happy to see everything is coming along for you.
We're trying, brother.
Nice.
That's it. I was just getting ready to go mow the grass when I got your text.
I'm glad you popped in. I've got one more person that just said that they're going to try to, and I'm really hoping.
Is it Jason?
No.
Is it Hannibal?
Well, no. Hannibal was on at the beginning, but his video didn't work.
I was here, but he didn't actually pop in.
Yeah, before we went live, he and I were chatting, and then when we went live, his video wasn't working. But he's driving in Florida somewhere. So, and well, actually, I don't want to say Pam, and I really want her to come on, mostly so that people don't accuse me of being sexist in selecting my guests here today. So,
why would somebody do that? There's no reason that.
You'd be surprised.
I understand where you're coming from, Carol, but it's so crazy, this business. We're all just comics.
Yeah.
Bunch of comics.
And well, you know what? And then we could just talk crap about him as well. Is that Kenny told me he was going to be here, and Kenny Mock. He said he was going to be here, and he must have forgot too. Maybe it's a lot to recover from in the last week.
Booking his schedule with all the cruise ships. I think he's going.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That guy just blew through this festival this year.
I guess we can just say all the good things about him. I mean, impressive highest score. And the other thing that somebody pointed out too is that every set that he did during the competition was a different set. Like he didn't repeat. I think there's one part of one joke that I remember.
Yeah, he has the same material he does do this week because we talked to him about his 7 and then getting into 10 to hit what got him there. But man, when he does his 25s or his longer sets, you're just like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
He's so likable. I love that guy. He's one of my, I'm always so happy with all the winners that I've had in the past, and I try to stay in contact with a lot of them. Eric Knowles was out there that week, and he got to hang out with us. and it's just fun. And I try to help the past winners as much as I can all the time. And Kenny's somebody who is just going to be a joy to work with. He's just a good guy.
Yeah, it was exciting to see like how much material he definitely's got enough material to. I mean, I hope he comes back, but maybe he's already graduated from.
Yeah, he won't come back to the festival. I've never had. I don't necessarily have a rule that past winners can't, but I don't really want that to happen. But he's welcome back anytime to any satellites, anything to come hang and do spots. I mean, it's just going to make the show better having him on it. Yeah, what a great guy.
All right, Carol. I gotta hop off. Gotta do some husband stuff. Well, fiance
Congratulations,
stuff.
Manny, and
Appreciate it.
your trophy. I'm glad that you made it through TSA, and thank you for being here and sharing.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm sure we'll talk soon. If not, I'll see you guys next year.
You got it, buddy. See you,
Bye,
man.
Manny.
Later, guys. Love y'all. Later.
I'm gonna get out of here too. I gotta pretend like I work on the road so my job doesn't fire me. Yeah, so thanks for having me.
Drew, where you at?
Colorado Springs. I'm doing a festival over at Looney's.
Oh yeah, tell Eric I said hey.
Will do. It's one of the best. Yeah, I got work because of Joe. So because of the World
Yay.
Series.
Say what you will, but he's a good guy, huh?
Yep. Right. Yeah.
Everybody talks shit, but that's right.
Exactly.
Right.
Who gets us work? So bye, guys.
Thank you both for being here. I'll see you all soon, and thank you everyone for watching, listening, and special application for, let's see, by September 30th, Joe, right? 2023, you can apply to the festival for next year for what's the special promo?
$65.
$65. Bargain.
On October 1, it's 75. So I mean, if you want to get in a little bit early, that's it.
Yeah, and that gets you an entire week of the festival in Vegas next year or wherever it's going to be, and then also all the entry into all of the satellites as well too. So, all right,
cool.
Hey, take care. Get lots of rest. Enjoy mowing your lawn, and we'll see you all next time, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye now.